Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Outside the Wheel. And, of course, I'm locked down.
And I am back, Av2pimp, your production guy.
And joining us today is one of the OGs of the league right here, OhSooCheezy. Welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you, guys.
What's up,
the
man?
Real 2 times.
Sounds just like Hollywood. That's funny.
Hey, I learned a lot from them, man.
I guess we'll go ahead and we might as well just mention that right off the start. Newly crowned champ from the Reapers.
Congratulations, man. That's a big deal.
Hey, thank you. I worked my butt off on the bench.
I
did,
kept it nice and warm for everybody else.
Absolutely.
Bet.
Yeah.
Hey, well, that was the matches like in the finals or whatever, but you still played in other matches. You coached, you practiced with the team, so you're still like a big part of that team.
Absolutely.
And what they did this season, you kind of they picked you up as like as a free agent, and that kind of helped them fill some gaps and some holes they needed. And some things, so I think it was a good for both sides. Obviously, you had some recent addition that happened up.
I am now a Delaware Wolf.
Woo!
Oh! Yeah, I'm super excited for this opportunity to be back in a coaching atmosphere. I really enjoyed it when I was on the Ghost. Shout out to Ryan and for all those opportunities I had. But I think this team is going to be great, and we're starting out with a great foundation.
Cool. You know, that team's going to be Eastside Trucker. You know, he came into League Season 5 with me. That's my boy. I work with him, known him for years, and brought him into the league. He's got a good personality. He's pretty funny. And he's funny and he's a good player, but, like, when it comes to the league standards of player, he doesn't play a lot of the league games. So I'm excited to see him in a little bit of a different role, and I think you're a good veteran to add to the team to give him that, like, help with the coaching and getting the team organized because you have experience with that. And being an expansion team, you're going to get a lot of new talent coming in the draft,
Absolutely.
So that's cool too.
So the draft is April 1st. Our first game is April 6th. I have 4 days to prepare a team for our first match.
But fortunately, like everybody knows, the season matches, you have a ranking structure, which is unfortunate because it does matter. At the same time, as long as you are, I guess top 3 to make it into the finals, and we haven't narrowed down how that's going to work, but as long as you're getting in the finals, that's the most important. But, you pretty much have a very fast turnaround to, like, get team out there and get things going. So some of those newer teams are going to have a hard time. Right off the start.
And that's one thing that I really love about the expansion teams coming in is because one thing that I heard especially a lot for this season was, we don't really play hard until playoffs. But, like, now, bro, you literally have to play and not slack and make sure that you are grinding. Because if you're not, man, you're getting kicked out.
Yeah,
that's it.
You get benched. Hey, it's nothing personal. This league is like a job, man. Like you're playing for money. It's serious, you know. You got to grind and perform. If you don't perform, you're gonna get moved. And sometimes too, it's not even personal. It's also like sometimes teams have an abundance of a type of player, and they need to find a different type. So it's just, finding what you need, and sometimes you got to trade away somebody you don't need for somebody you do need. And then, like, there's a lot of players that are on teams right now that would be better on a different team because they would have a chance to shine more. So
right, and that's one thing that I see a lot of, again, and that is with players being traded, players getting upset that they're getting traded. Just because you're getting traded doesn't mean that you're not a good player.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you can be traded and still be a leader of one of the new teams because you have that coverage, because you've been in the league for a certain amount of time. You're now a veteran. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks when I see a bunch of players get upset because they got traded. It's like you got to look at it as more of an opportunity for you to grow as a player and as a teammate for other people.
Yeah,
because it doesn't look good when you're sitting around with a chip on your shoulder as you're playing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So a little bit of backstory for those that don't know. Av2pimp, Vince. How'd you find the league? Give us a little backstory about you.
Okay. I got you. So
I don't know because you're behind the camera. A lot of times.
A lot of the time. So I found the league when my brother TLG is the one who continued to hound me about joining the league. And at the time, the league was down in Spotsy, so I want to say maybe like 30, 45 minutes away. We had just had a baby, so it was really hard to find that time in between to really do it. And I was also working all the way in Woodbridge, and I was working weekends, so it was just hard for me to really like manage my time to come down to the league. And then when the league moved down here to Stafford, which is 10 minutes away from the house, I found my kid is starting to grow up a lot more. She's being a little bit more independent. So, and I got a job that's literally right across the street. So it was just super easy to get here, and I have been here. I started out as commentary for literally like 2 or 3 weeks, and then they were just like, production.
Like you're great as a talker, but
you'd be better here.
No.
I got traded.
We think you'd be better giving orders.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like, okay, hey, look, how do you think I feel, man? I totally understand. I was kind of in the same similar thing. They were like, dude, like, you're great on this, but like, you should be over here doing this.
Yeah, and honestly, ever since then, it's just been a blessing, like, meeting all of these new players, meeting people like Cheezy, meeting people like yourself. It's been an amazing experience, and the league is growing so fast, and we're again expansion teams, 4 new teams, a whole bunch of new players coming in. Yeah. So it's just gonna be good to see it grow. So honestly, being in this league has been fantastic, and I do not regret it.
Yep. So this is the first episode we've done since the Reapers were crowned the champs. Took out the 4-time repeating champs of Karma, which is huge because for a while there it looked like nobody could even come close to beating them. Mm-hmm. And then this season, the talent, and I don't want to say that they fell off because they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Really what it came down to is the talent and skill of the league has risen up a lot. And now this season got a bunch of new players coming in that are also very, very talented. Yeah. So it's really epic. That's what's going to happen coming here soon. But going over, kind of switching gears back over the guest OhSooCheezy. So first thing, how did you get your name OhSooCheezy?
All right. So my original gamer tag on the Xbox 360 was Squishy Waffles.
That is so
what,
nasty. Oh my God, no.
I don't know why it was that. I'm a big
trolling.
Always.
I'm a big food guy, so I really like food. And my brother and I
don't know if you want to put that out in the universe for people to make comments.
Hey, that's okay. They can make all the comments they want. I'm the 2-time. Okay?
Yo, it's crazy how
he's not wrong.
Like him,
he's not wrong. 2-time, season champion means more than a 2-time belt champion.
Oh, wow.
So he's not wrong. I mean, winning it all versus winning the belt, I mean, he's not wrong.
Loki, you hear that?
Sorry, bro.
So back to the gamer tag. I was with my brother, and we were just trying to think of things that kind of went with, like, the passing the torch from Squishy Waffles. And we're like, this is all cheesy. And they were like, oh, so cheesy. And then that's all it was. So it's mine and my brother's gamer tag. But my brother doesn't live around here anymore, so I kind of formed and morphed it just to my own gamer tag.
It's officially your gamer tag.
Yeah.
And get over it.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
So how'd you find the league? Like, how did you get involved with the league? Where did you discover it? Like, a little bit of your backstory.
Season 1, actually, there was a Facebook ad out, and it was asking and recruiting for players. And I responded to it, and I was like, I play these games. I don't know if I want to come out. And they were like, I think Titus's wife was in control of that. So she responded to me and was like, yeah, come out. There's tryouts. I didn't go to the tryouts. I was too scared. I was worried about it. Mm-hmm. Well, then Season 2 rolls around, and Germana partnered with Titus and UEL and made the Germana Grizzlies. And so I tried out for that, and I was like, oh, man, there's so many better players because they had us play, like, Gears. I'd never played Gears before. They had us play Wreckfest. I'd never played Wreckfest before. I was like, I'm not going to make the team until I convinced Herb to let me wax him in Madden. I beat him 69-21. Ooh! I still have the screenshot. I was the Raiders.
I'm not going to lie. That wouldn't happen now.
Oh no, it wouldn't happen now. It's much closer now.
That's I would love to see though.
That's what I was able to get onto. And there were 20 people on the Germana Grizzlies, and they picked the 7, and the 7 that started eventually turned into Karma, and then everyone else kind of funneled out and picked their own teams and either rejoined Karma or. So that's how I get the name 2-time champs. Because I won with the Reapers on the bench, and I won with the Grizzlies on the bench. But I'm still a winner. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo's got 2 rings, and he rode the bench the entire time behind Brady. So
hey, I mean, and like so, and that actually is interesting to hear that because that kind of is like Gears and Wreckfest, 2 games that Karma for multiple seasons were known for just not losing to anybody.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny when you hear that and hear that from like in hindsight. It's like, oh, well, that makes sense because they built the team off of like skill sets of certain games, which is really cool. But it's not a lot of teams come in the league like that. But I mean, like, so about you, like, what games, like, I guess, what games do you enjoy playing besides league stuff? Like, who is OhSooCheezy?
Yes. Tell us some more.
I'm big into Minecraft. If I'm
Really?
Are you serious?
Really?
Yeah, I have my own. When I worked at Kings Dominion, I created a server with all my Kings Dominion friends, and we got a Pixelmon server and we got a normal server. So Pixelmon is like you play Pokemon in Minecraft, and then the normal Minecraft server we just have a survival world. So I'm big into Minecraft. If I'm not playing, is it about using your imagination to construct something? Is that the part of it that gets
sorry,
you?
'cause I cannot
or is
get
it
into
more
Minecraft,
of,
bro.
or is it more of just the community that you had at the time around you?
I'm old enough to say that I pre-ordered Minecraft when it came out in 2009.
Okay.
But ever since
that's old.
Ever since
Jesus
then, I've been
Christ.
playing that. I think it's a big stress
Pong, baby.
reliever.
Was it Pong?
Pong, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
But 'cause the music is subtle, and it's more like you can choose to have your own adventure. You can go on to hard, you can go on to peaceful. But I treat it as a stress reliever because it lets you build your own little world. Kind of like how like girls nowadays like play The Sims all the time. The boys' game was Minecraft.
So
Yeah, so a lot of
there
it-
are
so-
a bunch of other games out there that are like Minecraft, and I don't see them getting a lot of that shine. Now, do you know of any other games outside of Minecraft that you know of that are similar to Minecraft?
I'd say Roblox, but that's more of a like I don't really play
Yeah,
that,
I've
but
seen
like
that.
my sister and my little
My
cousin
kids play that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was like, I mean, I played it when I was younger, but it got too little. It was too cheesy for the cheesy. Okay, it was.
Fair
So
enough.
I've stayed on Minecraft. Other than that, I don't really play anything else besides league games because like, what's the point now?
Yeah. Have y'all seen the Fortnite Creative 2?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
It's
it looks
insane.
beautiful.
It like they basically have Creative 2.0 and the like top streamers are playing it. It's like Fortnite, but like it looks like some Call of Duty stuff in the creative mode.
Yeah, it looks
Like
they
the
used
graphics
Unreal
are
Engine.
insane, bro.
It's disgusting.
It's
Oh,
crazy.
wow. No.
And you see all these top streamers playing like maps that the other top streamers like Dr. Disrespect made, stuff like that, like sniping and like all this stuff, and it's like, whoa, like
Yeah,
this
no.
is crazy looking. It looks pretty cool.
I bet. Now I'll check it out.
I won't.
No, meaning like I'll look at it from a distance. I'll watch it.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not
I don't think
playing
it's.
it.
I don't know if it's fully
I'm not
released
playing
yet. I don't know if it's fully
It's
released
not
yet.
yet.
But that's
It's
because it's
just
just the
certain
top.
people.
It's the top, streamers and stuff
Oh, yeah, of
are
course.
doing like server tests on it and stuff. So that should be pretty wild. But yeah. So I mean, like a little bit of your journey, man. Like you know, I know because I know you had some. I know you had some complications. Not to put your business out there, but you had some complications with past teams, past personal stuff. And so like you have a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna let you kinda take the reins.
There is a lot. What do you want to know about? You want to know about the past or like the past league stuff first? Like, do you want to?
Whatever you want, whatever you feel up to
Let's do it
talking,
past
whatever
that
you
first.
feel up to
Let's-
talking
let's
about you.
Building up to the league.
Okay,
let's
building
go,
up to the
let's,
league.
Let's
So-
build it up to the league.
Yeah.
This is gonna get personal.
All right, cool.
So,
what we're
gonna
I mean, I usually do when I talk about it.
Oh,
A little bit of emotion.
all right.
But
all right.
so, my full name is Tristan Paul Weaver. I was not always a Weaver. I was Tristan Paul Brown up until my 18th birthday. And the fact of the matter, the reason I did that is because my birth father is a heavy alcoholic and a heavy drug user, and multiple times through my youth he was always doing that in front of me or like hiding it. So he's a big liar, and he'd been in and out of prison. I think my 8th birthday is when it was. I was out swimming in my grandmother's pool because I was staying with her for a week. And he said he'd be out there in a little bit. And it got to like 30 minutes, and so I went inside and checked on him. He OD'd in front of me.
Oh, man.
And they had to, my mom and my grandmother ended up coming. They were both at work, and they called the police. They resuscitated him. So I've never really had an established relationship with him. He unfortunately is in prison again because of unpaid child support, because when he was in prison for the 3 years he was there originally, he couldn't pay child support. So he racked up quite a bit in there. So there's that. In 2017, October 20th of 2017, we got a call from my grandmother that my little cousin wasn't breathing. And so she was at the hospital. And my mom was like, okay, we'll get there before my grandmother gets there. And we're not even 2 minutes down the road, and my grandmother is calling, screaming bloody murder that she passed away. And I was like, she was such an amazing little girl. And that's what, she's the reason I do the things I do, like the person I want to be. Because she was only 3 years old.
Wow.
And I was super close to her. And just to hear that, like, I've been hit deep that. And then recent events, I'm not going to get into most recent stuff because I don't think my parents or my sister really want that out there.
Yeah.
But my sister's been struggling with her mental health, and it hasn't been going very well. So I'm dealing with all that. But the reason I'm talking about all this is UEL has helped me with this. Even though I've been thrown around like a rag doll at a WWE training facility. Just the atmosphere here, even though during games it can get chirpy, the people here have helped me. The staff here has helped me. The video games have helped me. Video games and music has always been an escape for me from my somewhat of a terrible past. Because there's a lot more stuff like embedded in between my birth father and my cousin passing and what's going on with my sister. That I don't really want to put all the way out there.
No, I totally get it. We all got stuff we don't want to tell people. Yeah, it's.
But those three events are the big reason why I choose to be an endgamer, because video games keep me afloat in this crazy world.
Yeah,
I got you, man.
I get it.
Jeez, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in. And you weren't lying when you said this was gonna get emotional.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what it's all about. I mean, like, tell your truth, tell your story.
Now that you mentioned something like that, so hold on. Sorry, my bad. Were you still going?
No, I'm just here.
Let me not take that away from you.
No, you're good.
Now, I can definitely say that I kind of understand a little bit about what you're going through. Now, the things that are, I don't think the things that I've been through are, we're not matching up, and we're not trying to see who's better than who. But I get where you're coming from. I will say that as you get older in life, you start to realize that where you are in life isn't where you want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's exactly where I was at before I came to the league. So I've never really dealt with depression or anything like that until recently. And it's crazy because I was going through a situation where I was just like, I have a job that's closer to home, but like something doesn't feel right. Like, this isn't it. Like, I don't want to be doing dental, for the rest of my life. And I couldn't figure it out, because when I quit my other job to come down to this other dental place, it was literally a linear move. And I have no advancement there. Like, I'm not growing as a person within the company. I'm just doing the same stagnant thing that I was doing over and over again. And I was in a really depressing state. Now, I have a beautiful family. I have a wife, 2 beautiful girls, and they bring me all the joy in the world. But like, it was something that just wasn't hitting it.
Yeah.
And there were times it got to the point where I was thinking about, doing the deed.
Yep.
I had actually, a couple of weeks before that, before I even had those thoughts, there was this guy who I used to see at Wawa all the time. And he was super cool. When my wife was pregnant, we used to go in late night, getting ice cream, doing the thing, and he was always there. And I want to say, I saw him one night, and we were just talking, because he was back and forth with Florida. He was going through a bunch of issues with drug use and things like that. And when he came back, he was super skinny. And I would talk to him, and I never got his phone number, and I never got all of the information from him. And next thing I know, Juki actually called me because Juki was close with them as well. And he was just like, yo, can you hop
That's where
on
I
the
met
game real
Juki
quick?
was Wawa as well.
Yeah, that's
I didn't work there,
Yeah.
but he worked at the one by where my work was. So I used to see him all the
Gotcha.
time.
Yeah, and he was just like, yo, can you hop on the game? Like, I just want to, I need to get my mind off of this. And I'm like, wow, what's going on? And he told me that, that guy who worked there, he ended up, doing the deed. Like, he actually did it. And so I've never been hit so hard before in my life because I've never, I felt like I could have avoided that. I mean, I could, no matter what you would have done, it may not have worked, but like there's so much regret.
Yep.
And so, after that, it was just like, I need to do something else with my life. I need to do something else. Juki and I really weren't talking like that. Like we didn't have that communication.
Yeah.
But when I finally came into the league, and I say all of that just to say, when I came into this league and these guys here, Titus 300, Doc, that how I met Doc over at the oral surgeon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's right there.
Yeah.
So, I say all that to say, like, I finally found my spark.
Yeah.
They know how dedicated I am to being here with all of these guys who really want to grow as people, who want to see this league grow, see this league succeed is crazy. And I can honestly say I haven't had that situation where I'm just feeling like, oh man, that like I'm not happy with myself. Like the thing that's keeping me going is the fact that I know that this is going to turn into something great.
Absolutely.
Because when I go to work, I'm just like, I know for a fact I'm not going to be here forever. I'm not going to be stuck here. I'm going to be doing something that I love. And I'm really glad. I always think TLG, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in the spot, and it wouldn't, because of you guys, I wouldn't be in a leadership position that I am. In my opinion, I feel like I'm in a leadership position as far as like production and things like that, and like all of these guys have just done so much for me. So I get where you're coming from, man. The league has definitely made a space for everyone, for all of us.
Yeah,
all of us.
Yeah, and that's kind of. All right, I guess we'll go on. I guess we'll talk a little bit about mine. All right, so when I was younger, everybody that sees me now, I'm like 6'1", 250 pounds. I'm a big guy. When I was growing up, I was ADHD, very hyper, fast metabolism. So up until I was 13, I was like at my biggest point at 13, I was 5 feet tall and 85 pounds. I was
dang.
I was the smallest person in every class every year. I grew up in Woodbridge. Went to Ripon. Real kind of poor school, yeah. Ripon.
Really?
Yeah, it was poor.
Bro,
and,
that's crazy.
And so we lived in a townhouse. My dad was like a auto body guy and and he also worked on the cars for the pit crews of Old Dominion Speedway. Mm-hmm. So on the weekends we'd go to the races, and then in the summertime we'd go boating. And so we had good family stuff, So we had a lot of good family time, other than a couple things that I'm not going to talk about just because because it's past and it's a lot better now. But growing up as being the small kid, and I still have them, but I had very big buck teeth when I was a kid. Like these big teeth were this size since I was little. Yes, they were huge. And the rest of them were not. And I had white blonde hair.
Okay.
So I was I got picked on a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why I have thick skin now. So I get teased all the time in the league, people talk and stuff like that. Yeah. But I can take it because I grew up small and picked on a lot. Mm-hmm. And especially when it got to middle school, it got real bad because I remember in third grade is when I first experienced it was I had this there was this girl that I liked, but at the time you're young, you don't really understand it. Yeah. So we would we would chase each other around the playground, stuff like that. And then one day she just stop, I don't do that anymore. And I was kind of confused, okay, what does that mean? And then it started getting into boys oh da da da, and started picking on me a little bit. And so it wasn't too bad yet, but it was the first time I got kind of realized oh, people are not always nice. No. You know what I mean? And then when I went into middle school and Ripon, it's pretty rough because I'm a very personality person, you know? And in middle school, you know, everybody goes through that phase of like, I feel like I have to be tough and I have to prove myself. But most of the time, they try to prove how tough they are by picking on the smallest person in the class. Yeah. And which we know now as adults, it doesn't make you look tough. It makes you look like a punk because you had to pick on the small kid.
Yeah, right.
You know, we even have some kids in this league that go through some of that. You know what I mean? That's why it's like I feel like I have a story to tell. You know, and so I got picked on a lot. And I also live right down the hill from the school, so I walked home. So I didn't ride a bus. And so one thing I experienced that kids don't experience much now, I think, is because I live right down the hill, like there was many times I had to like fight my way to get home.
Yep.
You know, and I literally had to fight to get home.
Yep.
And it happened a lot. And then from there, I had a situation where we were at the park playing basketball. And this kid came across, like we were just playing basketball, and I was like standing over like half court or something, and for no reason, I found out later that one of the other kids was like, "Hey, I'll give you a soda if you go punch him in the face," and I was standing there like this, right, and he came up behind me, so I didn't know he was coming, and then from behind, winded up and smacked me right in the side of my head. So it happened so fast that I didn't realize what happened because I was relaxed. You know, if you're not expecting it, you're relaxed.
Yeah, you're going to get knocked down.
Right up the side of my head. And then all I remember is just waking up on the ground and, like, people looking down at me, and I didn't know what happened. And then they, like, picked me up and, like, carried me to the car, and my mom took me to the hospital to get checked and everything. I was fine. But it was the first time I ever blacked out, you know? So I was kind of like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then, like, come to find out, he just did it for, like, a joke.
Yeah, just for no reason.
And it was like, so that was your joke, to just, like, blindside somebody at a playground? You know what I mean? But that's how it was around where I was. Like, it was like, it's weird to say, but, like, it's weird to say this, but as, like, a white kid, there was, like, no, it sounds weird, but honestly, like, I think the white percentage was maybe, like, 25% of the school.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird, as in, like, a little bit of the, I'm never going to say I would compare it to a minority.
Yeah,
I would never say that.
Yeah.
But it was a little similar in a way. Not entirely, but I don't want people to get upset by that. But, you know, so it was like, and so I don't know what it was. I was just blonde hair, blue eyes, small, skinny kid, and so they just thought they could pick on me a lot. So for me, my escape when I would come home was the video games.
Yep.
So right from the start, I immediately got into wrestling. That was my biggest thing, which probably tells a little story about me and like commentary and stuff like that. You've all seen, you know, if you've watched the league, you've all seen who I am.
If you've seen the web, then you know.
I don't know who that. I don't know who that is. What he's talking about.
Oh yeah.
But
okay.
But I definitely got real into wrestling because of the fantasy of being somebody else. You know what I mean? Because as I grew up, I always felt like I had bad luck, and I always feel like I had the worst luck, and I still feel like that luck plays into me now, in everyday life, and so it was like a fantasy of being somebody else and creating a character. So then, like, when I really got into video games, when they came out with WWF Warzone on PlayStation 2, because you can create your own wrestler and do your own entrance, and you can, like, wrestle and all that stuff. So, like, WWE on the wheel, I haven't played WWE games in years, but I still watch wrestling. So the game being on the wheel is very cool. I'm like, man, I might have to get back into the wrestling games, you know? Because I loved it back in the day, and that's what got me into gaming initially. And that was before, like, Halo and stuff came out. The online like multiplayer stuff. So really for me it was creating my own life on my own, you know? And then when like multiplayer came out for Halo, that was the first time I really got comfortable like being out like with the gaming online community, because that was like new thing of multiplayer. And that was when I realized like, okay, like you can get to like become friends with people from all different areas. So I got real into that too, and the gaming just kept going. Outside of the gaming, I was grew up skateboarding a lot. So I was a big skateboarder up until like 8th, 9th grade, because then I moved to Stafford and I lived in a neighborhood where it was like not a lot of places to skate on. So I kind of drifted out of it. And that's when my wrestling turned into backyard wrestling. as a wrestling
You
fan.
did backyard wrestling, bro?
Oh, not only did I do backyard
Oh, my
wrestling,
God.
there is compilation videos on YouTube still
Stop.
of 16-year-old lockdown wrestling in the backyard with chairs, like real chairs. We didn't have like real
exactly.
chairs. We would make tables out of plywood and like straw and like hay bales and stuff. We would make tables. We jump off ladders, light tubes.
I need to see it.
I'll show you. Light tubes and stuff. We would use cookie sheets, whatever we could find, to like hit each other with, and we'd wrestle. But we actually learned the technical side of it too. And this is back around the time when like they came out with the original Tough Enough in WWE, where they would have the competition to like become a wrestler. And we were both like, man, like if we were older, we could totally win that whole competition because we were that good. And so that was like more of the fantasy in my head of being somebody else.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of characters.
Yeah.
And I had like my main character was just me though, and I was kind of like the jerk, like the cocky, like put it this way, I was the Miz before the Miz. Like honestly, I was. And then the Miz came. That's why I love the Miz now, because he's like he really in MJF, just God. And that was the kind of the character, because I've always been the nicest person. So that character of being the not nice person, the mean one, I became really good at being the mean one.
Yeah.
Because of my experience. So as I'm older, this has all happened way before the league even came into existence. So the video games always was a way to get real into that fantasy for me of like finding, which is kind of sad in a way, because not having a lot of real close friends in real life, I counted on the online friends, which don't last forever.
Bro.
You know what I mean? So
that's all of us, bro.
I know. And
that's literally everybody.
Yeah, and that's why, like, how I found the league, like, fast forward later in life, I worked a job, like, recently my thing is I worked for a job for 15 years.
Okay.
Underpaid, undervalued, but I was a guy who was always loyal and nice, and was like, I'll just do what I have to do, but I put up with a lot of shit. And I should have left a long time ago, because there's more opportunities out there, you know? And what finally turned me into leaving was, this is actually after I found the league too. I had a period, to backtrack a little bit. I found the league because my brother Doc found the league.
Yep.
And he told me, he was like, there's a league for video games. Like, there's a place where you can play video games and compete in tournaments. He's like, you were made for this. And then he was like, you got to go and check it out. And I went and checked it out. But then I had some personal stuff that happened. I don't want to get into it because it'll upset some people. But I had some situations come up to where, kind of like your situation, 3 kids and a stepdaughter. Like, I had a situation where I had to step up, and my own personal time and social life and everything had to take a back seat to being a father. Yeah. And which is fine, because I love my kids and I love being a father. So I had that gap where I was gone and putting up with the work stuff. And I got so overworked and overwhelmed. For the first time in my life, twice in 1 year, I had panic attacks at work. Never experienced that before.
Right.
Previously, I had like an accident where I fell 25 feet off a ladder at that job and couldn't walk for a month. So like, I've had some experiences with the job that I was like, I finally realized I got to get out of here. You know what I mean? Like 2 panic attacks in a year. I've never had them before. Like, I got to get out of here. And Doc was like, been trying to get me to come work for him for a long time. Finally took the offer, came to work for him, got more time, I'm happier, make more money, like a better life, and I was able to come back to the league. And coming back to the league was exciting, because he was like, hey, they need commentary. And this is back at Fredericksburg location. He's like, commentary, you were born for this. Like, come in and do it. So I came and was like, hey, Titus, you remember me, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to come and do commentary. And he's like, yes, come on. And I showed up. My first time doing commentary was the season 4 finals. And I was doing it for like 15 hours straight. And from there, Titus and a lot of people in the league were like, dude, you are it. Like, you are the man. Like, you need to do commentary here. Like, you need to do this. And I was like, I kind of want to play too. And da-da-da-da. And they're like, yeah, but you got to do commentary.
You got to
do so good
commentary.
at it. And just like, all right. And so going into that is kind of what we talked about, is like finding the way I explain it is not entirely accurate, but I think it's a good way to explain it. The league was kind of like it was created where the antisocial can find their community and kind of blossom a little bit and to be able to express themselves because they found their people kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Other gamers.
Because we all experience that online, but in person, nobody ever was able to translate that a lot because there's not a lot of communities in esports leagues to where you actually can get people together and like do this in person. Like, so like for me, just coming here to hang out is like, I love it so much. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so this league was able to give us a chance to find our people in a sense. Everybody's accepting of everybody. We have trans people here. We have a lot of different types of people here that, homosexual, bisexual, that kind of stuff, to where people have their own things and everybody's accepted. Everybody's not treated differently. Yeah. And everybody is, there's only one pure rule is if you play a video game and you don't kick ass, you're gonna get talked. Oh yeah,
100%. 100%.
If you don't back it up, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, if you didn't, man. But if you were here for that staff game, bro, God, Juki was so loud.
Oh, dude, I've never seen Juki that hype. Never seen him that hype, bro.
Oh my gosh, so
it was crazy.
I've known him for over 20 years, and that is my man. Let me tell you how I met this fool. We just moved to Stafford my senior year in high school. Yeah, I knew no one. Yeah. Right. So there's some little kids who were like running around outside, and I'm like, screw it, let me just go outside. Let me just see what these kids are doing. And these kids are playing red light, green light. And I'm like, all right, bet. Let me go ahead and join
these kids today don't know about red light, green light. I'm like, or Red Rover.
Man, no, not Red Rover either. But like they were playing red light, green light, and I was like, all right, cool. Let me just go up to the top of the hill, and I'll just scream red light, green light. And like I'm doing that. And Juki comes out, and him and I start talking for a little bit. And I asked him if he plays video games or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, yeah. And so he's like, yeah, I play this game called Bloody Roar, which is a fighter, right?
TOG's talked about it on the podcast before. Bro, yeah.
So we go and I go into his house. We're playing Bloody Roar. He thinks he can. I washed this man. Oh my God, I left his house and he was still in front of like the screen, staring at because I whooped
and he's
his
still trash
so bad. No, he's a lot better than I am now. But like, man, when I watched him, ever since then we've just been cool. He has been my rival when it comes to fighters, and when I told him about the league and I was telling him how excited I was, we were in PlayStation chat. And we were just talking, and as I'm talking about it and showing how excited I am, at this time he was actually living, because I think he still lives probably like an hour and a half away, and he was just like, "Yo, I'm in Stafford, like, pick me up on the way," and I was like, "All right, bet." So I drove up here, got him, came up here, and like he's been here since. Yeah. So it goes to show that I say that because I have two of my closest friends who are here. Yeah. Two of my closest friends, pretty much my brothers, my family, who are here, who I brought into this league and were welcomed, honestly, with open arms. And being here is, I mean, I don't know how else to say, but fantastic, because everybody here is just awesome. So, Cheezy, going back to everything that you were saying as far as, gaming and, that helped you escape, and then coming here, even though you've been, tossed around, and it's always a pleasure to see you, because honestly, man, I would never have thought that you've gone through so much. You know what I mean?
Anyone would have.
No, not at all. And I'm so glad that you were here. I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to meet you, and I cannot wait to see what you do with the Wolves this upcoming season, bro.
Hopefully better than what I did on the Ghost, because obviously that didn't pan out. That didn't pan out.
I mean, that was a rough situation. So for those that don't know about that, so basically, what happened with the Ghost? I mean, obviously you don't want to reel too much, but like you've had some league stuff that's happened.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of transitions for you.
Yeah.
Like the new wheel, how do you feel about it?
Oh, I feel great. It's all games that have been most of the games have been on previous seasons.
Okay.
So I've had the experience of playing it. So when I was GM of the Ghosts, Tarkov and StarCraft were both on the wheel. And as the GM and the main coach, I took it upon myself to learn how to play all those games. And StarCraft, only person I'm scared of is Billy.
Of course,
everybody is. He's like a legit pro in
He's
StarCraft.
probably going to ruin StarCraft like he did Madden for everybody else.
Dude, he's already beaten people like 1v4 and stuff like that, and now it's going to be like 4v4. Like, Billy is going to go in, and then he's going to say, it doesn't matter who go in, because here's the thing. Because StarCraft, not to cut you off, StarCraft has the ability to let your teammates like control your like players and resources and stuff. Yep. So Billy's literally just gonna be like, "Don't worry about it, I got it," and he's just gonna take that and just run.
So here's the thing: I've never seen StarCraft.
You're in for a treat.
I cannot, and I'm trying to keep it to a point where I don't watch StarCraft, so I can finally see it,
see the excitement when it happens. Right. But you at least got to know it because or else you're gonna be like, I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah, that's also very true. That's how it was. When
I hope it rolls April 6th when I think we play the Cobras, because the Cobras, they're gonna get washed in it.
Hey, all I know is you have a very smart strategic mind running the Cobras.
Who?
Third Anarchist. And he is not. Obviously, he's not a player. He's a coach. But like games, like strategy games, like League of Legends, things like that.
Oh, I know who he is.
His knowledge base is very good. So if he can get the team, it's a very quick game though. So that's going to be tough when you have some veteran players already in the team. Yeah. But like, I think he's going to be. He's going to have a transition. It's going to take a bit. But if the team listens to him, they have a lot of potential. Yeah. And that's really what it comes down to in the new expansion teams. If you can get the players that are going to listen to you, because the new players always come in every season. The new players have the same mindsets. I'm the best at this game.
Yep.
Hey, do this. Nah, I got it. I know what I'm doing. Then they lose. And they're like, I don't understand. I win all the time. This is UEL. It's different. It doesn't work that way. You have to work together and listen. It's not about being just the better player. You have to be the smarter player. It's a lot of that.
Yeah. I think the Cobras will be a tough matchup. But back to you saying Anarchist is a great strategy mind. I know. But that's still exactly why I said, who? I ain't worried about him.
All right. Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
So, yes, we got a lot of new games on the wheel. Got a lot going on right now. The Combine's around the corner. It's going to be exciting.
Literally tomorrow.
And so by the time y'all see this, it might be going on or it'll be after. We're going to have a lot of those players that we've been seeing hyped up going to be a part of the league now. A lot of new transitions. We just had the award show, which is pretty cool. Finally able to do an award show. I got a little choked up because I was kind of like, because it was one of those moments to where you get that real feel of like, hey, this league is growing into something.
Well, then that's
you know what I mean, and so I got a little emotional for a second.
Well, you have every right to, because remember, this was the first like award show.
Yeah.
That he was that we were able to actually put together, and like you were a major part of it.
Yeah.
And I told Titus, next award show, I'm doing MVP again, and I'm making everybody cry.
I need a little bit of. I'm not gonna. I still feel like I underperformed.
Me too.
Me too. Because it was. It's not caught off guard, but it's more of like when you hear everybody get up there and they're telling their stories and everything, and I had to stay up there the whole time.
Yeah.
And so I was getting a little burned out to where I was kind of like, oh crap, where was I at? What was I doing? And so it was a little challenging. So I know the future ones are gonna be great, and there's a lot of players in past seasons that won those awards but didn't really get the show and the advertisement of it, which is why it was real cool to see Herb get his trophy.
Yeah.
Because how many seasons has he dominated fighters? This guy's mad about how many seasons has he dominated fighters.
Yeah.
But then you have some surprising ones like LJ Skater Girl winning the sport award. Rookie sport.
I was not expecting
and people
that.
are like, what happened is because it all goes by wins
and
it goes losses.
By numbers, bro. It's all about the numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to speak on the awards show. I don't want to speak on the awards show. I'm glad we had an awards show, but I don't think the people who won should have won. No offense to anybody out there, but there were a couple people that should have been nominated that weren't nominated. My boy Mad Genius, amazing player, wasn't nominated for anything.
Yeah, I thought that was. I know they do it by the records and stuff, but like when the individual performance is so good, but they lose because of the teammates, and then they don't get any nominations, it feels a little.
Or they win because of the teammates. Because
yeah.
every sports game is for sports or even fighters, it's a group effort.
Yeah.
So if you go in on a sports game and it's like us three and it's NHL, and we carry, but you're there, you're still going to get the win. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't really necessarily like that it's based off of wins, because personally, I think rookie sports player should have either been low key or mad genius. And I also think that fighting game player of the year, and this is no offense to Herb, I'm glad he finally got his flowers, but it should have been Scance. In my opinion, I think Scance deserved that.
When you talk about mad genius though, like, don't get me wrong, I like Mad Genius. Mad Genius is funny. I like him, right?
Yeah.
But where I see him actually winning an award is like, I didn't see him for a lot of different games.
That's true,
right?
However,
he actually done the first to 10 challenges a couple, and he's good at a lot of games on the wheel.
He didn't get growth
honestly, and I was a part of the trolls. Yeah. He did not get a chance to shine like he is legit. Okay. He had some work scheduling for some of the Friday matches and stuff. He wasn't available, and then later in the season and finals, he wasn't on the team, which I still don't agree with to this day.
Yeah, I don't agree with the decisions
because
that happened.
I think he's one of the best players they had, and now he's on a different team, the Bandits. I just hope. I know how Rex runs the Bandits. We've seen it. Mm-hmm. He likes his lineup that he has, and with the new people coming to the team, I hope they get their chance to shine, because Mad Genius is a legit player.
Yeah.
And there's also other players that are on the bench in some teams too that I'm like, if you're not going to play them, trade them and let somebody else play them, because there's legit talent.
Like Silver should not be sitting on the bench right now. Yeah. Silver should be on.
You mean the current fighting belt champion?
Is he current?
Yes.
No, Scarlett is.
I thought he beat Scarlett.
Hey, don't hate on my guy.
I don't hate on Scarlett.
That's
I don't hate on Scarlett.
You want to talk about who I think should have been a nomination for Fighter of the Year? Somebody who literally has pulled out wins for his team and in a lot of essence saved his team. Hydro.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my man, Hydro, bro.
How many times, and not just fighters, how many times has he come in and, played well in other categories, but, how many times in fighters, has he literally clutched it on his back, got those wins in fighters?
Well, before we even continue, because for all of the people who are new to watching this and not knowing who everybody is, you guys have got to lock into the streams. We're going to come back streaming April 6th. Yeah. And that's our
You're
first game. You're
going to see the Wolves win the first game.
Wolves. You guys need to get yourselves acquainted with all of these new, not new, but all of these players, because everybody here is going to show you something. Everybody. I promise you.
A lot of new talent, a lot of old talent that's getting better and better, and finally getting a chance to shine it, because a lot of the social media, the stream, a lot of the production stuff has gotten a lot better. Mm-hmm. So people are going to have more of a chance to show what they got. Mm-hmm. My idea for a draft this week was, instead of doing a draft, is kind of choosing each of us. Mm-hmm. Choose if you could make one movie into a game and in a style of game, what would it be? Or if you could take an old game and remaster it into a new remastered product, what would it be? Mm-hmm. Maybe each of us can do 3? You think you got 3?
I mean, I know for a fact I got 1. I don't know if I could do 3.
All right, we'll do 1, but I got multiple. But
okay,
we do 1.
You do your 3. I'll go last. I'll go last since I got 1.
There was a game that was really cool, and they made future movies and a franchise out of it that I think would be awesome if they made the games to finish it, and that would be Chronicles of Riddick.
Yes.
I agree. Okay, that's
Remember
good.
Escape from Butcher Bay? The quality wasn't great because it was an older game, but it was showing the backstory of how he got the eyes and how he became Riddick with the glowing eyes and all that. Could you imagine if they kept that going with today's technology with the Dead Spaces and all those kinds of games? Could you imagine a game of Chronicles of Riddick? There's Pitch Black, but you could even skip Pitch Black and go straight to Chronicles of Riddick.
Yep.
With the Nevermongers or whatever. Could you or Necromongers? Could you imagine a game of that? It would be so cool.
Yeah,
the technology of that will be awesome. I think that would be a good one. That's my first one.
So I'm going to take the easier route. A movie that I think should become a video game, and this is such a simple answer.
Or it could be a TV series.
I think Free Guy with Ryan
Free
Reynolds.
Guy.
That would be so funny.
That was cool,
It would
dude.
be, I know it's a video game movie, but if they made that a video game, I think it would do numbers.
Okay.
It would, I think, because the movie did numbers itself. Like, it was an amazing movie. I mean, most people over the age of 30 didn't think so. But
Yeah.
I did, and I'm over 30.
I did not know that. I thought you were
I'm way over
I
30.
appreciate it. Let me see. So one game that I, of course, would want remastered, I've already talked about it, is Bloody Roar. Like, that game, you mean to tell me a human could go into, like, a beast form and then go crazy?
I keep hearing the
please.
name, and I like, it's right on the tip of where I'm like, I feel like I remember this, but why can't I remember it? Like,
Man, there was this dude named Yugo who turned
driving
into
me
a
crazy.
wolf. There's Bakuryu who turned into a, like, mole. Man, Bloody Roar was my game, bro.
Yeah.
And, like, you used to, in the most recent Bloody Roar game, you were able to take moves from other characters and put them on another character.
That's cool.
And then you can combo those moves into other moves. And you could have, like you could modify your character to your liking. And it was awesome. Like that final one, but then I guess they ran out of money, so they never made another one.
yeah, it's a
So
shame. That sounds
my
like it'd be
one,
a
but I got
fun
another
game
one.
for the league, too.
It was awesome. It was awesome. All right, what's your second one?
Second one. I love that they did a remaster of Final Fantasy VII, and because it's the most popular one. I was
Yeah.
a big fan of 8,
Yep, me too.
and I love to get a remaster of 8 for reasons, because I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, which I'm excited for 16 coming out soon. So yeah, that's another one.
Well, I mean, I feel like they did remaster it, but they didn't remaster it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was just like, oh, they came out with the remaster, but it was just like, well, but you did better with 7, so do the same thing with 8.
I'm loving the Resident Evil remasters, man.
are doing it
Tomorrow
big,
Resident
bro.
Evil 4 remaster
They are
comes out.
doing it
I already
big.
got it ready. Purchased, ready to
That's
download.
awesome.
Like, I love those games. How they give you a chance to to remaster that stuff. I love that. Like, I'm real excited. I love the throwback games. Like, that's what's cool about sometimes getting throwback games on a wheel. Like Left 4 Dead was so cool.
Yeah.
On the wheel. It's gone already, which sucks because it's such a fun game, strategy-wise, and like to play that you can beat people, man. Yeah, I mean that's fun. Obviously, a big anime fan I am, so like any game that I could get like they've made some One Piece games, but I'm like, I just want an RPG One Piece game like MMO to where you can create your own character in the One Piece world, and you could like choose your devil fruit power
Oh, bro.
and then like go around from island to island. It would take a lot, but it would take a lot of money and time to put the game together, but it's a guaranteed success.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it would be a guarantee. Even
And I don't
people
even
that
like One
don't
Piece.
watch One Piece
Yeah, I don't watch
would
One Piece.
look at the game and be like, hell yeah, I want
Yeah.
to play that
Yeah.
game. Like, I think it would be a immediate success. They make so many of these MMO RPGs with just like anime style, but they're not. They're just not hitting. You know, they're not hitting, and it's a struggle for me. That's outside of competition games, but
I got that was a lot to take in. So obviously, PS5. Personally, I think most PS5s have better graphics than most gaming PCs. So my remastered game choice would be Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes.
That
Absolutely.
would be so beautiful
Yes.
on the PS5.
Yes.
I've seen that. I haven't really played it.
I think they're trying to make something like it.
Yeah.
That it's coming out sometime soon. I can't remember the name of the game, but like you're running around in like sand and like they got all of these like different combat systems, but it's not the same. It's not the same. It's such a good game. One game that a lot of people that I would love to have remastered. Not a lot of people know about this game, and it is a shame. It's called Urban Reign, and it's made by Bandai and the creators of Tekken. And so like Paul and Law have like a cameo in it, and it's just like an all-out brawler game, bro. It is so fun. It is such a good game. me and Juki used to play somebody else. This is when we had like the PS. This is PS2, bro. When we had, like,
I
the
see.
little-
So this is like a fighter game, but like you can have like 4 fighters
Yes, bro.
around like a square like
yes.
area. Dude,
Oh
that's
my God,
great.
it's
Could you
crazy.
imagine that like style in the league?
Oh my God,
That would
bro.
be
Like, that's
crazy.
why I love it, because like you could hit somebody, they could wall bounce, and then your teammate can like grab them.
Third party and stuff?
Oh my God.
Dude, that's why WWE
I need that
is
game.
going to be so exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna
to
be
watch.
fun.
I can't wait to commentary. You're going to hear so much like JR and King, like, oh my God. And I'm just
honestly,
like, I'm going to be going off, bro.
Honestly,
I love it. I'm so
I can't
excited.
wait to hear it. I can't wait to hear it.
I'm so excited.
Those are my 2. What's your last?
Last, I've said many, but I could keep going, man.
You said
I
you
can
had
keep
3 in
going.
the chamber, bro.
I've already dropped like 4.
Yeah.
But I love it. Like, I love video games, man. And so like, if I could think of a game, I'm trying to think of what would be good for like league, like competition and stuff. I kind of miss the old Rainbow Sixes that had the storylines. I kind of miss the storylines Rainbow Six where you'd have to like do the objectives like campaigns. They don't do that anymore. So I kind of miss that. But if I was doing like a remaster or something, maybe like SOCOM.
Oh,
SOCOM would be cool.
That'd be cool.
That was a cool game, and that would be. I like third person. Like when the new Call of Duty had the third person Warzone and third person multiplayer, I loved it. I was all into it. I was like, this is cool. Like I love third person games because you can like play the angles on the corners and stuff like that. I think that's fun. A third person game would be awesome for the league. I think if we had something like that. But I mean, each his own. But
What's your last one?
Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe.
Yes.
Yes.
That
That would be perfect for the wheel, and it would be perfect because they're both groups are nostalgic characters.
Yes.
I mean, you could have Superman versus Scorpion, and then Chicken Tech wouldn't get to talk all his talk.
The Chicken Tech, the second best chicken.
The second best, absolutely.
Okay.
Dictator Chicken is the best chicken, and I would
which
say
I
that.
think we're getting a matchup coming soon on the stream.
Those two are
of the chicken for the title of the best chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So we had me and Titus, and it looks like the next 1v1 setup is going to be chicken versus chicken. So that'll be exciting. Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap it up? I mean,
I don't have anything. Thank you all for watching.
thanks for joining us, man. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Like, what are you doing now? Is there anything you want to like promote? Like, do you want to promote your social for the team, or like anything that you're doing now that you want to promote, or like where you're at currently, or something?
Currently, I'm not doing anything. I just need sleep.
There you go.
That's currently it.
Okay.
But no, April 6th, watch us. You got to watch us, all right? Wolves are going to take the first dub of the season. We're going to beat his friend's team because they ain't ready for the cheesy.
Oh, man, you are too much. You're like Hollywood, and it's ridiculous. But,
I'm
by the way,
two-time.
He sounds like Hollywood when he says it,
it's
bro.
ridiculous. It's like he didn't leave. Like he was here all the whole time. But that's actually going to be 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on April 6th.
All right, so I think that's it. We'll wrap it up
That's it.
today. We'll be back with another episode next week. I'm Lockdown,
I'm AV.
It's your boy Cheesy.
and we're out.
Later, guys.